Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Lust Hills Harley-Davidson, and look what we got today. Let that one soak in. That is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful, brand new 2022 Road Glide Special. Just check that hot rod out. It's just got everything. And look at that paint. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous two-tone, vivid black. I think it's reef blue maybe. Gorgeous shark fairing. They had a slew of them inside to pick from, and this is the one that really jumped out at me. So what is it? Well, let's start with the engine. It's 114 cubic inches. That's 1,868 cubic centimeters. It's air-cooled with oil-cooled exhaust valves. It's got the cam down below. It's overhead valve, 4 valve per cylinder, push rods operated. Absolutely gorgeous. 10.5 to 1 compression. About 118 foot-pounds of torque. That's about 160 newton meters. It's supposed to get about 43 miles a gallon. All that torque goes through the transmission right there. I think, by the way, I think horsepower is, I can't remember, it was 93 or 97. I'll put it down below. So it's a 6-speed transmission, and one of the things about these M8s is I really am just so impressed with these very positive shifting, nice, solid, long throw, just beautiful in every way. I just love it. One of my favorite transmissions right now. And all of that goes through this, you know, look at the size of that clutch. And Harleys have just incredible feeling, good range on their clutch. This has a 64-inch wheelbase. It's roughly 1,628 millimeters. Now look at that, isn't that something? And here's a good part. 5.1 inches of ground clearance. That's a pretty decent amount of ground clearance. It's about 130 millimeters. Just check that out. Isn't that just gorgeous? Every time I look at this bike, there isn't an angle that this thing doesn't look great in. Seat height about 26.1 inches, and you know, that's the thing about these Harleys. You know, you got the nice long wheelbase and the nice low seat. That's about 663 millimeters, by the way, and it's a very comfortable seat from what I've driven it so far. So here's the big number: weight. Y'all want to know that, don't you? 853 pounds. That's 387 kilograms. But you know, when you're riding it, it doesn't feel that heavy. It does right at the beginning, but once you get moving, it just disappears. These things are so smooth and have so much torque. It's just an absolute dream. Fuel tank, and I always love this part. 6-gallon fuel tank. I think it's about 43 miles a gallon. 6 gallons of fuel. Just absolutely amazing. The forks are 49 millimeter. But what I love about them is they're covered. The tubes are always covered on these, so you don't have to worry about bugs or dirt or any of that stuff getting in there. The wheels, these are called Prodigy wheels. Gloss black Prodigy wheels, and I think they're just a very good looking wheel, kind of a cross between a mag and a spoke. It has LED headlights, dual. Isn't that neat? If you look in there, you can see the Harley-Davidson emblems. That's one thing I got to say about these bikes. Anyway, the detail is just amazing on these. You know, these are your tail lights, your blinkers, your brake lights, all right there in one. You know, very nice looking rear end. And this lights up too. I'll have to figure out how to do that. So what makes this a Road Glide really is the fairing. What I'm really looking forward to is the idea of how well it protects me in the wind. It's a pretty windy day here today, so we're going to find that out firsthand. It's attached to it's a frame mount fairing. So this, you know, all of the weight is off the front end. It's attached to the frame. So that's, you know, I don't know how much weight that is, 50, 100 pounds off your handlebars. You don't have to turn that. It's all part of that, you know, frame. It also, any vibrations that would hit the fairing don't transfer to the handlebars. I love these handlebars. They look like about a 10-inch rise. The handlebars reach right. Another thing about this is the storage. You know, they've got these cubbies on this side. I don't know how far down. Oh, that goes in quite a ways. There's a power outlet right here. We've got the cubby on this side. This one is quite large. Has a you can hook your phone up to your boombox system here. It's got the large speakers on each side. I think it's a 25-watt stereo system. You still have the analog gates, and these are very sharp looking. I'm of the age where I love this kind of thing. Tack on the right, speed on the left. You got the boombox entertainment center. Up here you got voltage, and over here you got a gigantic fuel gauge. Other things to point out, up here, let me see, this button here. You push that, you open this space up. Do it again, it closes it. I don't know if there's intermittent. Nope, there isn't. That's pretty neat. So you can control a little bit of the airflow through there. Very nice. Isn't that just sharp looking? I just love the way that whole thing looks. Let's turn this on real quick. Accessories. This all lights up. Stereo system up here, the boombox system up here. We hit accept. This is a giant, I think it's a 6.5-inch TFT, color TFT. Goes right to the radio. Let's hit that. You've got options here. This is all controllable by this toggle switch here or this toggle switch down here. Navigation, music, and phone. Let's go over here to phone. There's no phone connected right now. We're not going to connect one. And this is for music. And I'm thinking, yeah, you can hook your Bluetooth up and stuff like that if you'd like. Let's hit that back to home on this button here. And navigation in the center. You can also have a Bluetooth headset right here. Oh, look at that, a compass right there. Here's something interesting here. This is engine info. Like this looks like lap times, things like that, speedo, other you know, mileage, all that neat stuff. Let's use this control here to see if we can move that around. There's engine, oil check, things like that. Tire pressure, front and rear. Very nice. I like that. That's something every bike should have. I have that on my bikes. I'd install it myself. And then this is trip summaries, fuel usage, how much travel, average speeds, things like that. Very nice. Very nice indeed. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Oh, it even has elevation. Elevation and current temperature, direction. Anyway, isn't that neat? Just very nice indeed. Let's bug out of that. We'll come back to more of this later. So, other things to look at on a motorcycle like this. Taillight's on. Check out the light down here. Right through here. Check that out. Isn't that just gorgeous? I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Other things to look at are the bags. These are lockable bags, hinge locked. They're one finger opening. There you go. These are the stretch bags. As you can see right there, they stretch down. Just a bit more room in there. But isn't that, and they're removable, by the way. You can remove them with these things if you want to clean your bike or just don't want them on. Now this bike has had these mounts added for a pack on the rear if you'd like that. I think the standards, they usually don't come with that, but they've been added on by Les Hills Harley. I think that's a nice touch on their part. Nice add-on. The 2-up seating. You know, this kind of a neat thing here. That's a different thing. They also add this gas cap, if I can figure it out. There we go. Then you just twist it on and off. That way you don't have to get swirl marks in your tank when you're doing gas yourself. This just turns like a normal gas cap now. But very neat, very neat. I like that. Anyway, Les Hills adds that. Les Hills Harley-Davidson. So other things this bike has, of course, this one's all blacked out. You can get this model, this exact model, with all chrome too, if you'd like. And that's quite a sight to see also, by the way. If you're my age, you might like the chrome. If you're younger, you like the blackout. I do like the way this looks. I think the blacked out with this vivid black, you know, looks absolutely gorgeous. And by the way, I'm just going to point this out. I don't know what color that pinstripe is. Maybe pewter or something like that. Same color as the Harley-Davidson right there, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And those are not stickers. That's actually, you know, real pinstripe. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This model has floorboards, as you can see right there for the front. I love floorboards. It also has these low bars. I can't remember what they call these, like a low cut or something like that. And then of course, look at this fender. Isn't that neat? Just a gorgeous two-tone with the stripe there again. And then these humongous, it's got dual disc brakes on the front with 4-piston calipers. So 4 pistons on each side for each disc. Just absolutely gorgeous. My experience with Harley's brakes is that these gigantic motorcycles stop very well, very predictable, very straight. I absolutely love it. But look at this, you know, these smoke glass in the front of that. These little wind deflectors right here. Just, I'm falling in love with it, guys. It's just absolutely an amazing motorcycle. And look at those pipes. Just look at those pipes. Just wow. The whole thing is amazing. So talking about the suspension real quick. I already mentioned the 49mm tubes on the front. The rear end, they have 1 inch less travel than the like a Road King has. And you can opt up. You can step it up and get the same shocks that the Road King has in the back, and that'll raise the back end up a little bit. I think the reason they do it, they put the lower suspension on the back, is they like the look, you know, the squatty look of the bagger. Just, it's a very good looking motorcycle. I rode the Street Glide the other day, had the same suspension on the rear, and I felt that it did very well. But so let's go over some of the hardware here. As always, okay, the mirrors are all blacked out, the grips are all blacked out, got the gloss paint up here, all this is blacked out, little chrome details in here. Just look at that, isn't that just gorgeous? But so over here we've got the information that controls the LCD right here. This is the traction control. That's part of the RDRS system, which this bike has. We'll talk about that in a minute. Horn, high lows with a headlight, intercom button, left blinker, home button with controls for our screen up here, and then this is cruise control, which that's just, everybody wants that. Return button over here for the screen, and some other controls for the boombox system. Right blinker, return button again, hazard lights, start button, and then the on-off kill switch. And over here is the turn your motorcycle on and off, accessories, fork lock, all that neat stuff. Very nice, isn't it? Now, just going to point out again, I always mention this, I love the grips on these bikes. I love the levers on these bikes. They're the best levers. And when they have paint on them, they even have a better feel, I think. And then I love the blacked out mirrors. And by the way, I love the Harley mirrors. They're, they got the half circle here and then the elongation, and that just gives you great views when riding the bike. Very, that's how probably all motorcycles should be that way. Just gorgeous. Isn't this just amazing? I'm not sure if I mentioned the tire sizes. The front is a 130/60/19. Isn't that neat? And the rear is a 180/55/18. Just going back to the traction control real quick. These bikes have an inertial unit that senses left, right, up, down, forward, backwards, whatever. And that helps with the bike's traction control system. It helps with the power control, with the braking, things like that. Wow, I love it. And hey, I'm Fuzzy Biker, and we are going to take that hot rod for a run. Let's go. Wahoo! All right, kickstand's up. Ignition is on. Kill switch is in the proper position. Clutch is in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sparks to life. Okay, really quick, let's talk about this. The LCD down here is controlled with this button up here. So that's the odometer, trip meter A, trip meter B, range 43 miles. I don't know if that's front tire pressure and rear tire pressure. That would make sense if it is. And then back to odometer. Tachometer is right over here, so there's no tach built in here. We've got the ABS light on, and this bike has ABS, and the traction control is on. Using this switch here, let's use this switch here. Let's go to home, and then using this one, let's hit navigation. And there's a map of our location. Wow. Put her in gear, and let's see what happens. Wahoo! Oh, so much torque, so much torque. I love it, I love it. Let's do some tight turns here and see what happens. The bike handles like a dream. It just handles like a dream. I love it. Very good indeed. The front end is not heavy. It is a large motorcycle for sure. Beautiful, just beautiful. If you are in the market for a new or used Harley-Davidson, get yourself down here to Loess Hills Harley-Davidson, LoessHillsHD.com. Talk to Jimmy. Tell him Fuzzy Biker sent you. Wahoo! Very nice shifting. Okay, let's immediately talk about comfort. I like the way I'm sitting. I've got running boards down there. I love running boards on a bike. And my back is about straight up and down. My heels are probably just in front of my knees. Arms are reaching for the bars. I love the way these bars angle like this. Instead of the more straightforward, they reach to me for sure. And the seat is very comfortable. I like it. It's a windy day. We're heading into the wind, and it's not really pushing on the bike at all. That fairing's doing its job. Is it a comfortable motorcycle? Definitely. Definitely a comfortable bike. I forgot to mention there is a gear indicator down here, right down there. We're in second gear right now. Beautiful day for a road glide ride. Look at all those hounds on that. Wow. Can y'all see those hounds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's at least 8 of them in there. Holy cow. Pulls away with no trouble at all. Harley is the king of torque. The king of smooth for sure. Self-canceling blinkers. 60 miles an hour, and we are tacking about 2200 RPM. Let's jump it up to 65, and we are tacking about 2,400 RPM. I'm getting a little bit of a breeze on my hands, but not, nothing to write home about. Pretty good, I'd say. There's no pressure on my upper body. I do have that open, no problem at all. Very positive shifting, very good feel with the clutch. I love it. I love it. The sound is just wow, as always. Like I said before, Harley made a deal with the motorcycle gods. They get the sound of thunder and all the torque. The ride on the 4 lanes back there was nice. It's windy, but the bike did not get blown around. I would say the fairing is a very good thing. It would take more of a ride for me to decide whether the handlebar isolation thing is a real thing or not. I'm guessing it is. If you had to ride 3, 4, 5, 7, 800 miles in a day, I think it would make a big difference. As far as visibility goes with this fairing, I am not hindered by it. I think it's very good. This low screen down here, I can see through here a little bit. It is not an issue for me at all. I do like it. As far as the ride goes, I think it's very comfortable. This is an old beat-up road, curvy little beat-up road through Loess Hills, and I think the suspension handles very well. We talked about that before. The mass of the motorcycle, the suspension between it and the road, the torque is phenomenal. We are in 3rd gear. I love it. Just beautiful. And of course, look at the scenery. Beautiful. Okay, let's turn around and head back. See what we get back there. Thing just turns with no trouble at all. I love it. The beautiful Loess Hills is full of roads like this. I think you should hop on your bikes, cruise through the Loess Hills, get yourself down to Loess Hills Harley-Davidson, and check out what they got. They've got close to 200 motorcycles, new and used there. They're really quite a, really quite a shop. This is truly a breakfast in LA, dinner 3 days later in Boston motorcycle. This would just eat the interstate alive. That's exactly what this bike would do very well. And the isolated handlebars from the front end, you just don't feel the wind on there at all. It is very smooth. I think I can tell the difference on that. Let's pick up a little speed and hit the brakes. Very straight, very predictable braking. I don't like to push them too hard. It's a brand new bike, but it's very good, very well done on their part. If you're enjoying this video, please hit like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of this particular motorcycle, this particular video, and what you would like to see more of. We are here to please. Wahoo! I've always been a fan of the Shark fairing, and I've always wanted to ride one of these, and I've got friends that have these that they wouldn't have anything else. They just love them, and I think I can see why. Like I've said before, Harley is blessed with good looking motorcycles, for sure. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Well, that was quick. I did hit the rev limiter again. I tried not to, but I guess I learned slow. I love the way this thing cuts through the wind. I really do. It's really something to see. I've just shut that down. I'm trying to see if there's any difference. There's no helmet buffeting at all for me, by the way. That fairing is a very good design, I believe. I am absolutely amazed at how light this feels for such a large motorcycle. Well, let's talk about the handling of this bike. In the garage, it's heavy. It's a heavy motorcycle, 800 some odd pounds. It's going to take some effort to push around. Very low center of gravity, but it's going to be a task. 5 to 20 miles an hour, it handles great. Very low center of gravity, very predictable, very easygoing handling. It is a large bike. It is heavy, but it doesn't act like it when you're moving along. 20 miles an hour to 70. I think we had it 70, 75. This thing's a thing of beauty. It's in its own at that point. And I think anything over that interstate speed, you could probably go 90, 100 miles an hour all day long in this thing, and the bike would just perform admirably. It's a beautiful thing, just an absolutely beautiful thing. I love the way it handles. It seems very light. I mean, look at that. That is very quick. And I think that has to do with the weight of the fairing being off the front end. So, conclusion on this bike, as always, I love them. Every time I ride a Harley-Davidson, it isn't whether I like it or not, it's how much I like it. And every model I go up, it's just something different to experience. Every model has their own thing, And this thing is the same. It's just an absolute work of art. Yeah. If you're in the market for a new or used Harley-Davidson, get yourself down here to Loess Hills Harley-Davidson. LoessHillsHD.com. Check out what they got. Ask for Jimmy. Tell him Fuzzy Biker sent you. They've got an incredible selection. I think over 200 new and used motorcycles. Really quite a sight to see. I love the way their showroom's set up. And I love the area. Just a beautiful ride down through the Loess Hills. Life is short. Get yourself out there and ride. Ride down to Loess Hills Harley-Davidson. Wahoo! Alrighty. I love the way these things sound. I don't want to go back in, guys, but you know, you can only ride for so long, right? What a beautiful bike. What a beautiful bike.